It is 3 a.m. You wake up to get a glass of water, and before your feet even touch the floor, your hand blindly grabs your phone. You squint through the blinding blue light, swiping through a feed of strangers' opinions that you absolutely do not care about. You tell yourself you are just trying to fall back asleep. But for 99% of human history, gathering unpredictable information in the dark was a sacred, life-or-death mission. The real reason you are staring at that glowing screen in the middle of the night proves that you aren't weak-willed. You are executing a flawless ancient survival program. For most of human history, physically, early human beings were incredibly vulnerable. We did not possess the thick armor of a rhinoceros, the speed of a cheetah, or the venom of a serpent. In the wild, we should have been extinguished, but we were given a miraculous gift: the foraging brain. In the caves of Pinnacle Point, South Africa, archaeologists found remnants of early humans from 160,000 years ago. These humans walked miles out of their way just to forage for a specific rare shellfish. They didn't just stumble upon them. They obsessively tracked the unpredictable tides to find them. When your ancestors walked through a dense, unpredictable landscape, they had to constantly scan bushes, turn over rocks, and investigate the horizon for high-calorie berries or prey. Most bushes were entirely empty, but occasionally, randomly, a bush yielded sweet, life-saving fruit. If they gave up after one empty bush, you would not exist. Your physical presence on this earth was bought with their relentless, exhausting searches through the physical world. To survive thousands of years of scarcity, the human brain was designed as a beautifully flawless neurological engine. It rewarded you for relentlessly seeking unpredictable information. And this ancient anticipation is incredibly easy to manipulate. In 1957, Harvard psychologist B.F. Skinner published his findings on the variable ratio schedule. Skinner put pigeons in a physical box with a heavy metallic lever. If the lever gave food every single time, the bird got bored. But if the lever gave food randomly, unpredictably, at completely varying intervals, the pigeon would peck the lever obsessively until it physically collapsed from exhaustion. 40 years later, in 1997, a neuroscientist named Wolfram Schultz implanted microscopic electrodes into the brains of macaque monkeys. He wanted to track how mammalian brains process rewards using dopamine. He gave the monkeys a sudden, unpredictable drop of sweet fruit juice. But here's what's fascinating. The dopamine didn't spike when the juice actually hit their tongues. The dopamine aggressively spiked a fraction of a second before, during the pure, thrilling anticipation of the reward. Dopamine is not the chemical of happiness. It is the chemical of desperate anticipation. Now, some of you are thinking, I am not a pigeon in a laboratory cage. Fair assumption. But your ancient biology begs to differ. For thousands of years, this miraculous foraging instinct conquered the physical world, and then we handed it over to Silicon Valley. In 2006, an interface designer named Ozzy Raskin wrote a tiny piece of JavaScript code for the web called the infinite scroll. Before 2006, humans had to physically click a button that said, "Next page." That simple, deliberate click was a natural stopping point. Raskin removed the boundary. Tech corporations instantly weaponized this code. They realized that if they merged Raskin's infinite scroll with Skinner's variable ratio schedule, they could hijack the deepest survival instinct in the human brain. They built a trap. They designed the feed so that every single downward swipe produces a completely unpredictable reward. A funny video, a terrifying news alert, a burst of social validation, or absolute garbage. The scale of this theft is terrifying. Ozzy Raskin later calculated that his single invention wastes roughly 500,000 human lifetimes every single month. 500,000 entire human lifespans, from birth to death, entirely evaporated into a glowing screen every 30 days. Today, you are living in a devastating modern mismatch. We spend our entire history relying on dopamine to survive starvation. Then we invented the smartphone, and tech billionaires reverse-engineered our sacred survival loop into an artificial slot machine. They extract our attention, package it into behavioral data, sell it to advertisers, and leave us sitting alone in a dark room. We are being farmed. Your deepest survival instincts have been hijacked. You're a human being, trapped in a glowing digital zoo. Tomorrow night, you will wake up in the dark, and your fingers will instantly search the nightstand for that familiar glass rectangle. You aren't doomscrolling because your brain is broken. You are scrolling because your primal brain genuinely believes you are foraging for survival calories and a digital wilderness. Underneath that exhausting habit, an ancient gatherer is desperately trying to map their environment. You aren't trying to fall back asleep. You're a prehistoric scout, holding a glowing torch in the dark, searching for safety in a world that never actually turns off.